Good morning, students. Welcome back to my class. So in the last class, we have learned about the three questions. The first lesson, that is the three questions, right? So I hope you still remember the story, right? So, as mentioned in the last class, the king was really curious to know the three questions, right? And so, because of that, he decided to seek the help from the wise man. But do you really think the king was satisfied with the answer? No, right? And so, because of that, he decided to meet a hermit. What is the meaning of hermit? I have already told you in the last lesson, last class also. A hermit means those who live a very simple life. So the resulting confusion led the king to meet a hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. So let us continue with our story again. The hermit lived in the woods and never met anyone but common people. The king disguised himself as a common man and went to meet the hermit. When the king reached the woods, the hermit was digging the ground for planting herbs. Seeing the king, he greeted him and went on digging. The hermit was frail and weak. As you can see in these pictures, he is very old and he is very weak, right? And each time he stuck his spade into the ground and turned a little soil, he breathed heavily. The king waited and waited, but the hermit continued to work. The king decided that he would ask the questions anyway. And so he said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer three questions. My questions are, how can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Second question says, who are the people I need the most to help me with the work? And the third question says, how do I know what is the most important thing to do? But the hermit continued digging without giving any answers to the king's question. He looked terribly tired. The king said, you look tired. Can I help you? And the king took the spade from him and started digging. As you can see in these pictures, the king is helping the hermit, right? So the hermit gave no answer. The king went on digging. The sun was sinking behind the trees. Then suddenly they heard the footsteps. See, one man is running towards them. Someone was running towards the hermit's hut. He was bleeding from a large wound in his stomach. As you can see in this picture, there is a blood. And he fell fainting in the ground when he reached the hermit and the king. They took him inside the hut. The king cleaned the wound repeatedly and covered it with his handkerchief. Can you see the king's handkerchief here? Yes, right? And with a towel the hermit had. The blood stopped flowing after a few hours, but the king and the hermit continued to take care of the wounded man all night. So, in the morning, when the man awoke, he stared at the king for a few seconds. He was overcome with shame when he realized it was the king who had saved his life. Forgive me, cried the man when the king looked at him. You can see the man folding his hands, right? Yes. So the man was asking for forgiveness to the king, but the king had no idea what the man is saying. So he asked, who are you? Then the man replied, I am your enemy from the neighboring kingdom who had sworn to kill you because you had killed my brother in a battle. When I heard that you are coming to meet the hermit in disguise, I followed you so that I can kill you. Your man, however, caught me and wounded me. How can I thank you for saving my life? If you hadn't dressed my wound and looked after me, I would have bled to death. From this day onwards, I will serve you as your most faithful slave and will ask my sons to support you. That's what the man has replied to the king. Now, a little later, the king still wanted to know the three questions from the hermit. So that is the reason why the king went out to see the hermit again. Can you see the pictures here? This is the king and the hermit. So the king asks again, I am asking you for the last time, can you give me the answers to my questions? Do you then the hermit replied, do you still need an answer from me in words? When you came to see me, you saw me working, and when you saw that I was getting tired, you decided to help me. If you hadn't decided to stay and help, you would have been killed by your enemy on your way back. That's what the hermit replied. And the hermit also said, I would say the most important action was helping me. The most important person was someone whom you were helping me. Me first. See, can you see the picture here? The king was helping him in the first place, right? And the wounded man later. See, in these pictures, the king was helping the wounded man. So the hermit was explaining this to him. If that man hadn't died, if that man had died, he wouldn't have made peace with you. Therefore, the most important time is always now. The most important person is the one who needs your help, and the most important action is to comfort the person who needs help. That is what the hermit replied to the king. Now the king was really satisfied with the answer, as he have already experienced in the woods, and the king left happily. Okay, this is the end of our lesson. We'll see you in the next class. Thank you.